Hello and welcome to the Nevada Historical Society. My name is Sherry and I am the curator of manuscripts here at the Nevada Historical Society. Did you know we're the oldest museum here in the state, going back to 1904? We've moved around a few times, and our latest location since 1968 is on the UNR campus across from the Fleischmann Planetarium. If you've ever been to our museum, maybe you've been led by one of our educational docents. They'll give wonderful stories about different parts of Nevada's history. Can you tell me what one of your favorite artifacts that you saw while on your trip? I know for me, it's our two-headed calf. Of course, our Datsalali and our firearms, but wonderful pieces in our galleries. What we're going to see today is one of our educational docents will be giving you a tour on a specific gallery and a topic of Nevada history. We hope you enjoyed this video and come back to our website to watch the other videos that will be on there. And we hope to see you soon in person.
Hello, I'm glad you could join me today. My name is Lorraine. I am a volunteer, and today I will be your guide through the Living on the Land Gallery. Thank you for coming. The Living on the Land Gallery highlights the life of Native American Indians who made this part of the Great Basin home for centuries. The Great Basin is a large area. It covers many states. In Nevada alone, there are over 300 mountain ranges. From space, the astronauts say that Nevada looks like a big bowl of mashed potatoes. Because of the many mountains of Nevada, the Indians lived their lives undisturbed by outside forces. When I visit a museum or when I study history, I imagine myself living in a different time. I think our imaginations are the original virtual reality games. I encourage you to use your imagination as we go through this gallery. Humans have lived in Nevada for over 13,000 years. Since the early people did not have a written language, they left us no documents or books to study. Experts call this part of human existence prehistoric. Anthropologists and archaeologists study what these early cultures left behind. Bones, human and animals, remains of their structures, cave and rock drawings, their tools, and possible food sources. The descendants of these early people continued to teach the experts about their ancestors' way of life, the foods they ate, their clothing, their tools, and how they shared their culture through songs, dance, and stories. I drive by hills like these depicted in this mural. The sagebrush, the greasewood, and the rocks seem to command the land. There seems to be so much undeveloped land still left in Nevada. Why do you think that is? I love guesses. Yes, water is one of the main reasons there is still so much undeveloped land in Nevada. The Indians managed to live on this harsh land for centuries because their ancestors shared the location of water sources, visual and hidden. They were not afraid to move from location to location, maybe as much as 6 times a year. That is one reason the early people are called hunters and gatherers. And in some places, when they found an abundant source of food and water, they built communities and planted crops. The Pueblo people, as they came to be known, planted the 3 sisters, corn, beans, and squash. These 3 plants kept the soil rich in nutrients for years. Northeast of Las Vegas, an Indian Pueblo village existed 3,000 years ago. Here's a diorama of that village. Some of the rooms have a door where we put doors, but those doors led to workshops and storage areas. Look at the top of the structures. Do you see the ladders? Their front door was through the ceiling. Why do you think these early architects designed homes like this? Remember, it is okay to guess. Did someone say safety? What would have scared them? Animals? Enemies? Good guesses. The Anasazi built many adobe pueblos. That is a clue that the weather was warmer in southern Nevada year-round because rain and snow would have dissolved the adobe quickly. It is also a clue that the soil was heavy with clay. There might have been herds of animals because animal dung mixed with soil and sand would make great adobe bricks. The walls still standing when discovered in 1924 showed signs of being repaired for hundreds of years. Archaeologists made this model, and it is signed by a key member of the team who worked fast to study this ancient Pueblo village before the valleys around Hoover Dam were filled with water to form Lake Mead. The Anasazi made and used clay pots. That is another clue that these Pueblo people did not travel about looking for food and water. Clay pots are too heavy to carry. Today, many Indian artists continue to make beautiful clay pieces in the style of their ancestors. Before we enter the next part of the gallery, what do you think other Indian homes look like in wetter, colder parts of Nevada? What did the Indian homes look like when Euro-Americans first entered Nevada? Use your imaginations, and if you like to draw, sketch a picture. Does your mental image or drawing look like this? This wiki-up was made by Wuzzy George, a Paiute. She loved to share her culture. And Margaret Wheat, an anthropologist, made this house with her. This is a model of a wiki-up. A wiki-up was built large enough for a bedroom for 6 people. It was used for about 5 years, and it stands about 5 feet tall. That tells us that the people that built these homes were not as tall as they are today. A wiki-up is an organic home. Young willow trees and branches, cattails and tule stalks, and cordage, which is an organic rope, were used. In a film of Wuzzy and Margaret making a wiki-up, they drove willow saplings into the ground around a cleared circle. Next, they made what looked like a tule cattail mat and placed the mats upright, tied to the willow frame to form the walls, and they left a hole at the top. Everyone in the small Indian community had a job. Some hunted for squirrels, deer, rabbits, fish, ducks, and rock chucks, which are marmots. Others gathered eggs, bulbs, roots, grasses, nuts, insects. Others made baskets, winnowing baskets, water baskets, cooking baskets, and cradle boards. And still others made tule decoy ducks, the Nevada's state artifact. I would have liked to have the job of making cordage. There were no stores from where to buy strings and rope. The Indians knew how to use hemp fiber, sinew from animals, hair, strips of sagebrush or willow to make string and rope. They would have needed cordage to hold together their wiki-up, to connect their arrow to the spear, to hold their babies in the cradle board, to fashion their decoy ducks. I would have been kept very busy making cordage. There are no cupboards or shelves inside of the wiki-up. Where did the Indians put their possessions? I appreciate the wisdom of the early people. They used the outside of their homes to hang their baskets, their sticks, their clothes, and their food. The fire pit in the center of the wiki-up was lit at night for warmth. They slept with their feet toward the center to protect their hair from the fire and to be able to react fast to any danger. They cooked outside. What did they eat? Recently, a Wall Street Journal article stated that insects would be a key food source for the future. Indians knew long ago how to incorporate insects into their diets. They toasted insects and enjoyed them the way we eat nuts. They gathered grubs, ants, grasshoppers, bees, wasps, fungus, all to ensure that their diet had more protein. In 1901, Jean Weir, the founder of this museum, asked an older Indian lady why she ate insects. The woman responded first with a question of her own. Why do some of your people eat frogs? And she answered the questions with, they are good. Insects are enjoyed by many cultures around the world today. The Paiute, Shoshone, and Washoe, the main tribes of Nevada, moved often in the search of food. They cooked in baskets, and baskets coated with tree sap held water. Do you know how they cooked in baskets? Think about it. First, they used the grinding stones, the mano and matati stones, to grind the seeds. Here's how they cooked in baskets. They wisely heated rocks and used a stirring stick or a wooden tong to take the heated rocks from the fire to the basket. And with ground up seeds and water in the basket, the hot stones cooked the evening meal. The seeds were gathered from rice grass, pine nut cones, and acorns, and buck oaks. Children were taught how to use the winnowing basket to clear the shafts and hulls from the seeds and to prepare the seeds and nuts and insects for grinding with the mano and the matati. Look at how much wear these grinding stones show. These tools were used by many generations. When they moved to another location, they would leave their heavy cooking tools behind, and other Indians did not take them. A village supported a small group of Indians, maybe 6 to 9. The leader of the group would be the one who demonstrated the most wisdom and awareness of how and where to find food. Many small Indian groups would gather together for the seasonal seed gathering, the trapping of fish, ducks, and rabbits. Imagine the cordage that they would need to make the nets. The rabbits provided furs to keep them warm. Tribal people still join today for the annual rabbit hunt to honor their heritage. Here is a picture of a family in their rabbit skin robes. It took about 150 rabbit skins to make an adult robe and only 40 skins to make a child's robe. They would have to take each skin and twist it around a pole and tie it at each end, and then they would connect it to more rabbit skins until they had a long string of rabbit skins, and then they would start fashioning it into a robe. That meant that you had rabbit fur inside and outside of your robe. Every artifact in a museum has a story. These valuable baskets were woven by Dotsolali. She is a Washoe. Her baskets are in museums and in private collections around the world. They are so unique because of their size and because of the materials that she used, the different ferns and the designs. There are many famous Indians that I hope you continue to study. They inspired others, wrote books, and became artists, like Wawoka, Sarah Winnemucca, Dasolali, as well as present-day Indian artists and writers. The Indian way of life changed when Euro-Americans arrived in Nevada's Great Basin. Today, the Indians honor their heritage through the arts, dance, song, stories, and food. Their language are being taught in high schools and colleges. The descendants of these early cultures continue to help us learn about a way of life that respected the land. Thank you for taking the tour of the Living on the Land gallery with me. Come and visit us soon in person.